Over the weekend, BBC News issued an apology after confusing Beyonce with Viola Davis during their Grammy Awards recap. Now, while discussing Beyonce's record-breaking status at the Grammys, the news platform displayed photos of Viola Davis at the Golden Globes. The BBC press team wrote the following statement. We apologize for the mistake last night when our news channels briefly showed a photograph of Viola Davis from January's Golden Globes alongside a headline about Beyonce at yesterday's Grammys. Now, this fell below the BBC's usual standards. Q, I see you shaking your head, so let's go to you first. What do you think about this mix-up?
Listen. White America and white UK, we just getting to a point where y'all need to appoint Black people for Black stories, all right? Like, we need to segregate the stories and segregate the office. And yes, I am pushing for us to regress as a global society and go back to segregation because white people, y'all just can't get it right, okay? I don't know what type of intern, I don't know who over the age of 70 can't make out Viola Davis from Beyonce. Like, it's just giving no.
Man, all right. Al, what do you think about this? You think it was just to try to get publicity, or what do you think?
You know, I think the BBC should be ashamed of themselves. They are a powerhouse media conglomerate. They're over 100 years old. That's just like the NBC here in the United States is close to 100 years old, making that mistake. That's just like the U.S. outlet comparing or making this mistake of the newly deceased Queen of England and the Princess of Wales. That's how I view it. Like, how are you going to make that type of mistake? Beyonce's been in the game for 20 years. Everyone knows her internationally. Viola Davis has been in the game almost 20 years. They are household names. How do you confuse them? Only because you want to. Thank you, BBC, for using us Americans to get you some publicity. It's just not right, though.
You know, people in the chat are saying, oh, they think we all look alike. No, they know we don't all look alike, okay? There's no, like, look at the three of us. Look at Viola Davis and Beyonce. Look at the people they constantly do this to. It's a lack of respect. And sometimes I feel like they're just, like, having fun in the newsroom amongst themselves. Like, let's see what they say about this one. Because there's no way in hell you don't know the difference between Beyonce and Viola Davis. They do shit all the time. Come on.
I can even understand it if they mistake. I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they put up Aaliyah's picture instead of Beyonce, or they made a mistake and put up Kelly instead of Beyonce. But Viola Davis and Beyonce, there is a stark difference between both of them. Complexion, hair texture, age, facial features. I mean, and the list goes on. Cut it out.
And from two different events. I used to work at Channel 7 in Boston. Shout out to WHDH in Boston. I used to work in logging in news footage. So we would have to log in, like, for the Chiron. The Chiron is the bottom of the screen where you see the person's name. We had to log in who was who. They are very well aware who Viola Davis was when they put that piece of video or picture on television. It is cap. They're lying that they didn't know.
I mean, it's low-key funny, not at our expense, but it's just messy as hell to be like, in the office and be like, Claudia, girl, want to play a prank on the news station? Like, we gonna call Viola Davis Beyonce and see if we can get away with it. Like, it's kind of funny.
Cammy in the chat, they said that's like mistaking Q for Al.
It really is. It really is.
All right. And okay, they tried. All right, BBC.